So welcome back to our coverage of the Singapore Airshow 2020, where the issue of the coronavirus has cast a long shadow. We already knew that companies were staying away. There's a long list of American primes, the Chinese companies that weren't able to attend. But we found during the show that a number of companies had either not turned up or downgraded their presence significantly. However, Gordon, I guess there was still some notable events during this week's show that we've obviously been covering on the website. What were some of your highlights over the week?
Well, two real pieces of news came from Airbus. So one of them related to the Singapore Air Force A330 MRTT. So Singapore is going to be working with Airbus to develop a smart tanker, so automate some of the refueling functions. A second piece of news also came from Airbus relating to helicopters. So Thailand has acquired or is acquiring 6 H135 trainer helicopters.
So I guess the running joke there is the fact that the Thailanders bought so many different aircraft, helicopter types. They pretty much own one of everything now, I guess.
They have a real collection from just about every manufacturer, Russians, Western, European, American, you name it, they have it. So they didn't have an H135 up till now, so that collection will be almost complete soon.
Sure. Just back to the AC330 MRTT, the smart version. What does that mean exactly?
So when the receiving aircraft comes along, it will connect to the boom, and most of those functions will happen automatically. So they'll have an operator monitoring it, but it will be pretty much automated as much as possible.
And this still being one of the major shows on the calendar, the annual calendar, despite being the fact it's one of the quieter shows I think I've attended, there were products released. We saw new sensors, upgrades to UAVs. Behind us, ST Engineering had a showcase their Hunter armoured vehicle, where they were very much highlighting the fact that it's a digital architecture has been at the forefront of that development. So they've kind of incorporated that from the ground up, reflecting changes in the way that armoured vehicles are developed. I think they had a number of other sort of significant products that they outlined.
Yeah, right behind me is a mortar, a 120mm mortar called the SRAM. So SD Engineering released the Mark II version, and the distinguishing feature for the Mark II is it has an all-electric drive instead of the hydraulics that the original version had. One other interesting little thing that I saw is from SD Engineering. They have a new 40mm grenade round.
Mm-hmm. And what's significant about that then?
Well, this is the ultimate party accessory. So this particular round is designed for countering UAVs. So you can fire it and it releases basically party streamers.
So I guess we've seen lasers incorporated, we've seen systems that throw nets over UAVs, so the party streamers is a new approach on that one.
Exactly, so the idea is not just to have a party of course, but to foul the rotor blades of a UAV.
So yeah, despite the fact that it was a more sparsely attended show than in previous years, there were news throughout the show floor. You can track that on all those developments on our website. I guess now, Gordon, looking forward in the calendar, attending trade shows kind of being our bread and butter. Question is, whether DSA and Malaysia will go ahead, whether we see perhaps some of the bigger European shows, considering, whether or not they're going to go ahead.
Yeah, that's a big question mark. So DSA is 2 months away in KL. We haven't heard any news yet. We hope that it's going to be on, but don't worry, Tony, I am prepared. I managed to pick up a souvenir face mask from this show, so I'll be prepared.
So for those that perhaps can't read that on the screen, what does that say?
Well, it says, it's from IAI, and it says, "I beat coronavirus in Singapore Airshow 2020.
Well, here's hoping that's true. We'll find out in a couple of weeks, I guess. So yeah, thanks so much for following the coverage, and for more again, see our website.